All right, so you're probably at rock bottom right now, and that's not a bad thing. I've been there. Oh my gosh. It's really, really a good thing. And you'll know by the end of this video that it's a good thing because that means that you're ready to make some changes to stop living paycheck to paycheck when you really don't have to. Guys, every time I would get paid, and that's every 2 weeks, I would literally go on a shopping spree. I would be going to Burlington, Marshalls, Macy's. Oh my gosh, I would go to Forever 21, a Rainbow, any store that you can think of. I would do some grocery shopping, but I was mainly focused on getting some new clothes, new shoes, little knickknacks, decor, things for the house, things that I did not even need. I had a lot of stuff that I didn't need at all. And when I would run out of money, I would start using my credit card. And of course, I built up a lot of debt because of that. Then after the weekend was over, get this, I would look at my bills. That's when I would pay attention to my bills. And of course, whatever little bit of money I might have left over, that went to bills. And then sometimes the bills would get paid a little bit late because I was in a bad little spending storm. I just kept constantly doing, and God bless my husband because he stayed patient with me. There was so many times when I would have to tell him, hey babe, like we only have, $90 until the next payday because I was literally just spending all of our money and it was just going out the window. And then finally I got sick and tired because the debt was just building up and building up. And I felt as if we didn't have any extra money to do anything. But the reality is that I was just letting it literally fly out of our bank account without paying attention to it. No accountability, no responsibility. So it was time for me to start changing my habits. So today, I want to get into sharing some ways that you can live below your means. So this way you can start getting rid of that debt. You can start building wealth by saving, building that emergency fund, and putting more money towards your retirement for your future, because we know Social Security is getting lowered and eventually it may not exist for generations to come. So we have to prepare and make sure that we're able to take care of ourselves so we don't end up having to work for the rest of our lives. I want you to stay with me, even though this tip is going to involve you actually spending money, even though we're talking about living below our means. I need you to trust me, okay? You're going to set a category in your budget that's going to be for fun or self-care, if you want to call it that. It can be $10, $20, $50. It all depends on how much you make after you have already budgeted all of your bills, anything that's a necessity. You have this money left over to put towards debt and savings and things like that. But you also want to have just a little bit of money for yourself to be able to buy a cupcake, some coffee, some sort of treat. Now it's summertime, probably some ice cream, maybe some takeout, or if you're going to want to go hang out with your friends at a bar or something, you have that little bit of extra money to still enjoy life, to take care of yourself, to feel good. Whatever it is, it's going to make you happy. The key is, though, you're going to stay within that limit. That might be hard at first. My advice is, let's say, for example, if you set the limit at $40, that you try to not spend more than $35. And then if you end up getting a little bit over that, you're still under the $40. But if, you stick to the 40, you say, oh, I'm going to spending 40, you might end up going over, right? Taxes, things like that happen. So I advise you to set a limit, but still try to spend a little bit under it. Challenge yourself. And then also what you can do is, if you have some extra money left over, you can move it to the next paycheck and you're actually building up some funds in this fun little category that you have. I like to have it as a sinking fund. A sinking fund is money that you intentionally put into an account for future use, for things that may be like your insurance payment every month, some sort of bill, or something that you want to spend money on in the future. You're doing this so you're not going to end up getting into debt because you'll be able to easily cash flow it with the money in that account. I have that for my family. I have it for our vacations as well. I put money into it, but I know that I'm going to eventually spend it at some point during the year that I can use for vacation. And this helps us to not have to just shell out a bunch of money at once from one single paycheck. We have the money just building up in that paycheck over time, and we could just fully fund it with cash without having to go into debt for any reason. Another thing that I did to live below my means was to only purchase used cars. I have never, ever purchased a brand new car. Let's take a look at these figures from Q4 of 2024, just so you can really see the price difference. For a new car in Q4 of 2024, the average price was $48,000. Okay, that's a lot of money. That's half of 100,000. That's a lot. That's most people's salary in a year. And a used car, the average price was $27,000. That is almost a $20,000 difference. And forget about the interest. You're going to pay for a $48,000 car at least about 60 to 65, I would say, to $75,000 after it's done being paid off. That's about a third extra that's just going to the bank out of your wallet because you didn't have the money to cash flow it and you didn't want to get a used car that would be affordable for you. Those payments really take money out of your bank account because remember, when you have a car, you're not just making, let's say, that loan payment to that company. You're also going to make a payment to your insurance company every month. You have to put gas in the car. There's maintenance. If you can't do your own oil change, you have to pay for that. Registration, you have to renew that every 2 years or so. You also have the inspection that you have to do. I mean, and there's just little things you have to do to take care of a car. It is not a cheap thing. So why go for a new car just because you want to have the newest thing on the market? Get a used car that is reliable, that you're going to use for many, many years. You can go over that 100,000-mile marker. I've done that before with my car, and it kept on working just fine because I took care of it. Remember, it's a mode of transportation. It doesn't have to look super pristine and beautiful. Look, as long as it looks nice enough to you, you're comfortable, your family's comfortable in it, and it's getting you from point A to B, that is all that matters. If you're really having a tough time controlling your spending, then I suggest that you leave these at home with the exception of one debit card, not credit card, because we want to just spend the money that we have. We don't want to get further into debt. Leave the credit cards at home. They're only for an emergency, okay? You're going to carry cash. I used the cash envelope method for about, I would say, 2 to 3 years before I slowly weaned myself off of it and I got better and comfortable with using debit and credit cards. Now I have no issue using either one. With my credit cards, I pay them off right away. I get the benefits of using a credit card, which I'll talk about in another video. But I don't just use them all willy-nilly like I did in the past. If I just want to go on vacation or just get something and I don't have enough money in my bank account and I can't use my debit card, I would use it. Not anymore. The cash envelope method is a way that you use envelopes for different budgeting categories. You set the amounts within your budget and you're going to put that cash in those envelopes. Now, I know you're probably thinking that you don't want to carry a bunch of envelopes. You don't have to carry huge envelopes. They have wallets that you can buy on Amazon that are really inexpensive, or you can just get really small envelopes. You can get creative with the little mailing envelopes, white mailing envelopes, cut them in half and just write the category on it and put the amount that you're allowed to spend every single week in your wallet. And this way you're carrying it with you. By seeing the cash in your hand, it's going to really get your mind working and you'll be able to realistically see how much money you're spending. Because if you cannot control your spending with your debit and your credit cards, I mean, sometimes charges don't show up to 2 or 3 days later, so it may not be as accurate. But if you're going into the red where it's negative or you're having to use your credit card because you're overspending, this is the way to go. Because once you run out of money in your cash envelopes, that's it until your next paycheck. You'll be able to see how you're spending your money little by little on a daily basis, and it may help you to spend less over time. That's what happened with me. It helped me to spend less and less. Then I realized I needed a little bit less for this envelope or that envelope, which was that specific category. And over time, I had more money that I could put towards that debt and pay it off quicker. I also had more money that I could put towards my savings accounts, more money that I could start having deducted from my paycheck to put towards my retirement investment accounts. This is going to help you to really get below your means because whatever cash that you have in those envelopes, that's it. You don't have any extra, that's all that you're going to be able to spend. Most people usually get paid on Fridays, with the exception of a few that don't. But because we get paid on Friday and then we're usually off on the weekend, we want to go entertain ourselves, and that usually requires us to spend some money. But if we want to live below our means, we have to find ways not to spend money or to spend less. So there are a couple of ways that you can not spend any money or very little. You could have a movie night, or you can have a night where you're going to watch maybe an entire series with some friends and family. And you don't have to buy a bunch of snacks. You can use whatever's in your home, whatever drinks and stuff. And let's say even if you do want to have a little bit more because you're going to have some people over your house, you can ask them to chip in. Maybe one friend could buy 2 sodas, and then another friend could buy a bag of chips, and then another friend could buy a bag of popcorn, and somebody else could buy some fruit. That way everyone's chipping in, and then you're not spending much money at all. You could also go on a long bike ride in the woods, or you can go on a hike, bring some snacks, some juice, and have a picnic out there. Take some pictures, do some journaling. That could be a lot of fun. You have to open up your mind to ways that you can enjoy yourself and take care of yourself without spending a bunch of money. There are a lot of ways, trust me. Use what you have already. If you already have Netflix, you already have Hulu, you have YouTube, right? Because you're watching me right now. That's another way, free way to entertain yourself. But don't stay online forever. Get out there, enjoy yourself, read a book, use your imagination. During the beginning of my debt-free journey, I started to do savings challenges. And one of my favorite savings challenges still to do to this day, I do it every couple of months, is a no spend challenge, or I'll do a low spend challenge. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about it, but there are a lot of videos that you can find on YouTube. Let me know if you guys would be interested in doing one with me. Maybe I'll share it on this channel next January or February. But basically, with a no spend challenge, it's supposed to help you not spend money. Keywords, no spend, right? Typically, at the end of the year, November and December, we have Christmas, we have Kwanzaa, we have Hanukkah, we have Thanksgiving. There's a lot of holidays, especially for us Americans. So we tend to go all out, spend a lot of money on gifts, food, and everything else. But then we want to bring it back in January, so that way we can tighten our budget again and get back on track financially. Now, of course, sinking funds will help you with this as well. And that's why I don't have to do savings challenges and no spend challenges as often anymore, because I use sinking funds. And if you missed that, just go ahead back to the timestamp in the video so you can find out what a sinking fund is. Now, with the no spend challenge, you only spend money on your bills for that month. Anything that is a necessity, and bills do include food, but we're talking about groceries, not takeout. Now, if you're going to turn that into a low spend, then you might allow yourself to spend a little bit of money on your wants during that time. Or maybe what you'll do, instead of for the entire month of January, or whatever month that you're going to do this no spend in, to tweak it and make it more like a low spend, you'll say, okay, out of that month, I want to have a goal of not spending any money on wants for at least, let's say, 15 to 20 days. And then the other days, right, you make sure that you follow through. So that is how you end up saving money and not spending as much. They're really, really helpful. And then there's all sorts of other savings challenges that you can try to do as well. There's a lot of free savings charts online where you might save $5 every paycheck. That might be like a little separate savings chart, so that way you can check it off. That helps a lot. That really does encourage us to keep going, because you can visually see yourself saving that money, and it's fun to like color in little bubbles and different things. But that has helped me along the way to spend less, because I am intentionally saying this is the challenge that I'm going to work on for these days. You guys let me know in the comments below if you have started to try to live below your means. What are some ways that you are doing that. So that way other people in our community can try those methods as well. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate if you give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who could use these helpful tips as well. Check out this video next, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.